Sometimes I listen to what God is saying, and sometimes I don't, but I know He is always there. I know He speaks to me daily in one form or another. Like 12 years ago, I and 2 others walked away from a car wreck physically unscathed. He was giving me another chance that day. Looking back now, I realized He was asking me to reevaluate my life and to slow down and to take a look at things that I hadn't been willing to see. In many ways throughout my life, I have believed that things should be a certain way, and I have fought anything that contradicted that belief. It's unfortunate that it took a tragedy to get me to listen more and to demand my own way less. Last August, exactly 9 months ago to this day, during a motorcycle trip to Sturgis, South Dakota, on my Harley, and my riding companion and I had just entered the beautiful, scenic Teton Mountain Pass. I can recall the warmth of the sun on my face, the crispness in the air, the smell of pine. As we entered a curve in the road, without warning, I see Randy swerve in front of me. Surprise, I reacted. My bike begins to wobble, and then, like in some kind of a dream, my eyes are drawn to the right hand as it clutches the throttle of my bike. Then there was silence. There was no pain. There was no fear. Just peace. My memories of the next several days and weeks are scattered. Although I remain conscious throughout the experience, many of the memories of the wonderful faces of those who stopped and helped me at the scene, the emergency response personnel, the dozens of doctors, nurses, and physical therapists, and my own family and dear friends are all lost. Only later, as I looked at the photos and listened to the stories of my accident, I am able to see the miracles that God so seamlessly played out that day. Not only in my life, but the lives of many others. Those last few seconds, as my eyes were so clearly fixed on my hand as it wrapped around the throttle of my bike, I now have come to realize it was in fact the hand of God. As He gently reached down and brought me into His arms, providing me with the comfort and strength for the difficult days and weeks and months that lie ahead. I'd like to read Psalms 138, 7-8. Though I walked in the midst of trouble, You preserve my life. You stretch out Your hand against the anger of my foes. With Your right hand, You save me. The Lord will fulfill His purpose for me. Your love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not abandon the works of Your hands. There were many high school classmates that visited me at the hospital in Utah while my final surgeries took place. They were either local or traveled from Boise to be there for me during my recovery. True acts of kindness that I'll forever cherish. It was clearly by His grace and the hundreds of prayers, meals, gifts, emails, and visits from family and friends I've truly experienced the miracle of prayer. I didn't realize at the time where my strength and optimism was coming from, but now it all makes perfect sense. Places as far away as Japan, where the co-workers hand-folded these 1,000 cranes, to the Dalai Lama in China, and the many prayer groups that formed in Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. Families, strangers, colleagues, and friends all have helped me make it possible for me to stand in front of you here today. Being injured, I've learned a lot to rely on the strength of God, not myself. I know He'll never give me more than I can handle, but in everything He does, there is a choice. And when we choose to trust Him and carry us through, it is that then I was able to see past the tragedy to the true blessings that He has given me. During all the chaos of my own tragedy, my son Taylor was his own battle with drug addiction. It was my belief that through my struggles with the acceptance of the loss of my leg, Taylor was able to find the strength within him to begin his own journey to recovery. It has definitely brought us closer, and if losing my leg has played any part in saving my son, it was all worth it. If there was only one thing that I could do to help my son Taylor during these struggles of his journey, it would be to ask each and every one of you to please pray for Taylor the way you did for me during my recovery. I know that the miracle prayer will see him through. Adapting to my life isn't always easy. Many of the simple things that I once took for granted have not only become a physical challenge to me, but they have also become true blessings. To have been given another chance to watch the sunrise over the Boise foothills while sitting in my hot tub and watching the squirrels run along the fence and the geese flying overhead. Or walking around the grounds at HP reflecting on how truly blessed my life is. The other day, as I was walking around along a familiar stretch of path, I remember the time before my accident when I would say to God, Lord, I truly believe in the power of faith, and I trust in you with all my heart. I would then close my eyes, and with my trust and faith in him, I would continue to walk along the path, with my eyes closed, trusting he would keep me safe. Needless to say, I got pretty good at closing my eyes and not running into things. I guess at the time, it was for me to way to clear the stress and chaos of the day. Since the accident, I've been trying to walk a little further each day in hopes I could build up my strength to walk the entire the grounds again. Well, during my walk the other day, as I came to this familiar stretch of path, I thought I would try it again. I quickly realized, what in the world am I doing? I can't even walk straight with my eyes open nowadays. And then it hit me. Faith isn't just closing your eyes and blindly taking off. I think God wants us to trust and have faith in him, but it needs to be a thoughtful, purposeful faith with a meaningful and mindful trust. Well, to make a long story short, from now on, I'm keeping my eyes wide open, and I know my wife, Tanya, would really appreciate that too. With a little adapting and love and strength of God, nothing's impossible. I have realized that life is not always what we think it should be, but God does have a plan for me. When life gets challenging and what was so easy for me seems to now be impossible, I have to remind myself to not get angry and upset. Here I am, Lord, send me. I know somehow my story is a part of your plan. Adapting isn't just a physical thing, it's also allowing our minds to adapt to the changes and challenges we face. Once the mind accepts that it can be different and still be okay, then the body is happy to adapt and follow. For me, having only one leg is a true blessing and not a tragedy. Before I close, I would like to take this moment to thank everyone for being here tonight, especially my wife, Tanya. There are no words to express the profound gratitude I feel to have been blessed with all of you in my life.